Hello everyone, welcome live to 3 Wide TV tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League. Tonight is the cutoff race for the playoffs here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. It is the DizzyMerch.com 150 here tonight at the beautiful, famed Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. I'm Peter Short, and joining me here tonight is none other than Mr. Bob Giaquinto. And Bob, great to be here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We got just a couple of minutes left here in the practice session. Should be a lot of fun to see these drivers out on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, Peter, this is a fantastic racetrack with these Xfinity Series cars out there. This is just going to be some fantastic racing. And like you had mentioned, it's the cutoff race. Only the top 7 drivers in the points will be making it to the chase starting in 2 weeks. Next week, we'll have a special LCQ race for the 8th and final chase spot. But these chase standings are incredibly close. Right now, currently holding the 7th and final chase spot is Bill Edwards, but 3 points separate him from Tristan Maher, who is on the outside looking in, currently in the 8th points position. So this is going to be a very pivotal race for a lot of these drivers. And even guys like Daniel Buttafuoco, who is 8 points ahead of Bill Edwards, there's a chance he could even wind up missing the chase entirely with one bad race tonight. So this is going to be really interesting as this race goes on to see where everything shakes out in the standings. And Peter, I am definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, for sure. And there you see Daniel Buttafuoco out there on the racetrack in his number 30 practice session just now wrapping up. Tonight, of course, is the DizzyMerch.com 150. And just went over to their website prior to the race. We'll bring that up at some point during the race here tonight. But you can get anything. If you're a Dizzy Motorsports fan, maybe you're not a Dizzy Motorsports fan, they do have a Nick Sucks t-shirt if you want to sport that, you know. I know we usually have a couple people in the chat rooting against Nick Cohan. But yeah, we do have some really cool merchandise at DizzyMerch.com that you can check out. Everything from t-shirts to hoodies. We got fanny packs up on that site. We even got die-cut stuff up there, like die-cut stickers. So we're really cool to have Dizzy Merch sponsoring here tonight. Of course, it is Dizzy Motorsports, and we really do appreciate them. We'll be highlighting them here tonight. There is not one of the Dizzy Motorsport drivers, however, that is the 3 Wide TV number 98 of Tristan Thuggy Maher, and Maher has put together some decent runs as of late. Can he keep that going here tonight, Bob?
Yeah, he's definitely ran some pretty good races. Had a top 10 last week at Nashville Super Speedway. Chicagoland, he found himself right up there in the top 10 as well. So a good bit of momentum coming into the chase. Although, like I had mentioned, he's just on the outside looking in, and he's really looking to pounce and capitalize for tonight's race.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on him. There's Philip Scott in the number 99, was the fastest car out there. But how about one of the Dizzy Motorsports machines? That is right, Nick Cohan in the number 21 has jumped to the top of the board. And Tim Johnston now going to go up into second. So a good showing so far for Dizzy Motorsports. And Nick Chambrone in the 01. That really cool logo, not really logo, but the number on his Toyota Supra. You can get a die-cut sticker of that 01, which is really cool. However, Tristan Maher picked it up on lap number 2, but as I say that, Nick Cohan picked it up on lap number 2, and now Tim Johnston picks it up on lap number 2. So Johnston goes top of the board with a 30.30, 3 hundredths of a second faster than Nick Cohan, but we have a lot of heavy hitters left to go. Only 14 drivers so far have turned a time here in this qualifying session.
Yeah, a lot of really fast laps going out there right now as we see Daniel Buttafuoco go across the line. He's going to slot himself, let's see, where did he slot himself? Oh, he must have been just taking the green flag there. So, you know, a lot of really quick laps. Shane Ewing just went out there. He put a provisional 3rd place lap. But as I say that, Anthony DeBarro goes up and tops the leaderboard at a 30.2. And then Andrew Himmelman out there as well. So these laps coming in fast and furious, and man, it's hard to keep up with how many blistering laps are going on out there right now.
Yeah, so Dabarro, Himmelman currently your front row here for the Dizzy Merch 150. Buttafuoco needs to pick it up on lap number 2. Lap number 1 was only good enough for 13th for driver of the number 30, who we'll be keeping our eyes on here tonight. Bill Edwards, another driver we'll be keeping our eyes on. He has yet to put in a time in the number 50. I know we usually have Bill Edwards fans in the chat here tonight. Buttafuoco on lap number 2. He's going to jump up to provisionally second in the number 30, so a big pickup on lap number 2 for him. Almost a quarter of a second, in fact, over a quarter of a second for driver of the number 30. And if we can continue to see that, that will put this driver in a pretty decent position. That is Kevin Stone, currently 14th position on the board. In fact, this might not be a hot lap for him. I think he's actually already put 2 laps in. So let's check out Breyer Fritz. There is the number 16 headed down the backstretch. Breyer currently being scored 19th out of the 19 drivers who have taken time so far in the qualifying session. He's going to need a big pickup if he's going to want to start inside the top 10. Can he do so? Comes out of turn number 4, coming to the start-finish line, and Fritz will improve a little bit. Will go from a 30.75 to a 30.48, but that still leaves him outside the top 10 as they run. We got Jimmy Mckee out there in the number 10. A great run for Jimmy Mckee last week here on 3Wide TV in the Total Nonstop Racing League Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Just missed the podium. What will he do on lap number 2? He's going to jump up to 7th in the SP Designs Ford Mustang.
Great looking car.
I was just looking to see, sorry to cut you off there, Bob, but I think J.D. Laird is the only other car out there on the racetrack, and he is going to start 20th here tonight. Not great for J.D. Laird.
Yeah, definitely not a great time for him. We saw him last week finish P2 after starting on the pole in Nashville. So it's going to be interesting to see him battle through all that traffic, especially back there about towards the middle to the end of the pack. Only about 28 cars registered for tonight's race. And, Peter, this is going to be a good one for sure.
So let's jump to tonight's starting lineup. It will be the Dizzy Motorsports number 27 machine of Anthony Dabarro, who'll be starting on the pole. Daniel Buttafuoco alongside him. Andrew Himmelman and Tim Johnson, another one of the Dizzy Motorsports machines, will be starting in 4th. Nick Cohan, Shane Ewing rounding out your top 6. Jimmy Mckee, Nick Chambrone on row number 4. And rounding out your top 10, Jason Freeman and Jason Gracias. A couple of the Jasons in the Jason and Jason show right there on row number 5, Bob.
And row number 6, starting 11th, the 98 machine of Tristan Thuggy Maher, and on his outside, the 99 machine of Philip Scott. Josh Gerlach in 13th, followed by Breyer Fritz in 14th. John Borst in row number 8, and then Kevin Stone on his outside. Row number 9 has the 05 of Casey Miller and the 35 of Lupe Gonzalez. Josh Kosick and J.D. Laird will round out your top 20.
Bill Edwards, the driver we will be keeping our eyes on here tonight, will be rolling off from the 21st spot. Steven Dosiak in 22nd. Mike Floppy Tellier, Vincent Valvano round out your top 24 here tonight. Back behind them, Justin White, who is the out-of-race administrator, will not be starting. Garrett Gleason, Stephen Kegman, and Jason Shue will make up the 28, make that really 27 with Justin White not starting field here tonight. So a pretty good field here for what is the playoff cutoff race. Should be a lot of fun to see these drivers work their way around the racetrack. Also hearing that maybe Josh Kosick in the 02 has come down pit road, maybe taking a fast tow, and might be starting from pit road. And unfortunately, when that happens, folks, sometimes the live timing and scoring gets a little bit screwed up. No, there he is in the 02 machine right there. So I'm not sure why the live timing and scoring is screwed up. We will get the live timing and scoring all sorted out for you, but unfortunately we will not have the live ticker, just to avoid confusion here on 3Wide TV until everything sorts itself out. We want to welcome you in the chat here tonight for the Dizzy Merch 150. Make sure you check it out here tonight. The stuff is really cool, but also green flag here is really cool as Anthony Dabarro leads us towards turn number 1, Bob.
And a great start there by DeBarro, down low, able to get down to that blue and white line, side by side there for second. Has the aid of Andrew Himmelman. Oh, he gets a little squirrely, but he's able to get around Buttafuoco, but further back. Oh, the 0-1 of Nick Chambrone, trouble. Chambrone got into the wall. Kevin Stone turns down, gets into the inside wall, and we'll have our first yellow flag of the evening tonight on lap number 1.
Yeah, that all looked bad. Down the backstretch, there was what was going on. Here's Kevin Stone right here, but there was stuff going on in front of him as well. And just ping-ponging off the wall was Nick Chambrone, and Kevin Stone comes down the racetrack to try and avoid it. J.D. Laird was right there, and unfortunately Kevin Stone just getting turned off the nose of J.D. Laird. Let's see if we can get another look at that one, perhaps from on board Kevin Stone, and I'm sure Kevin will be kicking himself over this one because, you know, this is one of those things where you're going to replay this in your head many, many times here tonight. Should I have just kind of slowed up? Well, you know, what should I have done? And unfortunately, Kevin was kind of put in an awkward position there, had to make a split-second decision, and sometimes that can happen. I'm sure he'll be disappointed he didn't get a little bit more room from the competitors, but, you know, it's those types of things where hindsight is always 20/20, Bob.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, in the moment, everything just kind of happens so quickly. And like you said, it's that split-second decision where, okay, do I slow down? Do I just let off? What's going on in front of me? And the 0-1 is, you know, just kind of got into the wall there. And unfortunately, it looked like, you know, from Kevin's point of view, maybe the 0-1 was going to come down the track. Who knew if he was getting tangled up with another car or what was going on? But unfortunately for Stone, his race is just going to be a little bit longer than the rest for him.
Yeah, just seeing, we're just kind of fast forwarding something here. I think it's live timing and scoring setting or settling itself out. I think we finally do have live timing and scoring up there where I think, well, I say that. I have no idea why live timing and scoring is up there at the top of the screen. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know why it was there, and I don't know why it wasn't behaving, but it's up there now. And we'll get that all sorted out. We're going to a new graphics package here soon, and we're hoping that it will sort out some of these gremlins we've been facing over the past couple of weeks here on 3Y TV. But let's go jump over to the chat. And has anyone checked out DizzyMerch.com yet? Folks, that is really, really cool stuff that they have up on that DizzyMerch.com. I saw someone list on FB top broadcast host, and Peter was third on the list. I told the guy he didn't know what he's talking about. He's, in my singing voice, simply the best. Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate it. I have not seen that, and I would... that's pretty cool. Just to be third on that list is pretty awesome, I must say, because these drivers and everyone really here in 3Y TV, Bob, we do it to have a lot of fun. And I know these drivers go out there. I know they enjoy our broadcast as much as everyone else in the chat. And it's just a good time. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love being a part of 3Y TV with you doing these races. And, you know, I have to say all of the folks here on 3Y TV are just so talented. I'll check out some of the other action, whether it's National Sim Racing Association or the 100% Cup Series that goes on, I believe, Sundays as well here on 3Y TV. And it's always a blast to check these races. And the professionalism here on 3Y TV is really second to none. So, really cool to see you up there on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, we have a race in store here tonight, 150 miles, unfortunately under the first caution flag of the night here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just checking up and down the list. Josh Kosick in the 0-2, being scored as the biggest mover of the race so far. Now that live timing and scoring has fixed itself, for some reason it had him a full lap in front of everyone, which seemed very strange. But hey, sometimes iRacing does odd things. But can say the 0-2 was, or is so far, the biggest mover of the race up to this moment in time, but it is Anthony DeBarro, Andrew Himmelman 1-2, and looks like DeBarro in that number 27 here, Bob, might be thinking of taking the high line here for this restart coming up.
Yeah, very interesting. Obviously, with him starting on the pole for the initial start of the race, had to start on the bottom line. But I wonder if he saw something that he liked on the top line. I'm not entirely sure, but this is going to be interesting seeing him switch things up and get the start on the high side this time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think he's making a really good decision there. We saw him get a huge jump at the start of the race, and when he got that huge jump, he carried all that momentum through turn number 1 and 2, was able to clear Andrew Himmelman, and of course, unfortunately, that's when the chaos broke out a little bit further back in the field. Speaking of a little bit further back in the field, we're seeing the number 1 machine here tonight, Jason Gracias, with what is a familiar scheme to many, the T-Rex machine that once upon a time won the All-Star race in NASCAR, driven by Jeff Gordon, and that race car was so fast that NASCAR said they never wanted to see it again, and actually quickly banned some of the stuff that they were doing on that race car. So we'll see if Jason Gracias has brought any of that pace here to the racetrack here tonight. He's currently being scored in the 13th position, 3 spots down from where he was at the drop of the green flag. But we're about to see the green flag again here. Bob, pace car down pit road.
Pace car is going to peel off down pit road, green flag in the air, and a great jump again by the 27 machine of Anthony DeBarro, who's got his teammate Nick Cohan right behind him, giving a good push. They'll both clear Andrew Himmelman and dive down into turn number 1.
And they're going to go single file up towards the front of the field. But as they race down the backstretch, we got another car up there in the wall. That is the 05 machine back there of Casey Miller. Briar Fritz has to go around the 05. A couple of these drivers here early, Bob, struggling with that outside wall coming out of turn number 2. It really does come at you fast out of turn number 2. But I'm also wondering if these race cars are just a little bit slippery here on the cold tires.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, that turn 2 wall does come up quite quickly, especially if you're there on the outside and taking the high line around the corner, and it's going to jump out to you. And they were saying in the pre-race drivers meeting that this setup does tend to go on the tight side as the run goes on, so it's going to be really interesting to see if more cars get a little bit too tight coming out of the corner later on in a green flag run.
And we will see how things start to settle out, as that is a lap around the Charlotte Motor Speedway on board here with Briar Fritz. Now, we have just put a poll up for all of you people at home to vote on, and that is, what are you going to buy at dizzymerch.com? So go check them out. We, under the next caution flag, assuming we get another caution flag, they've been kind of at a premium as of late here in the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. But if we get another one, we're going to try and actually bring up their website. We'll talk through it, look through it, have a few chuckles between us, Bob. It should be a lot of fun because they have some really cool stuff. And hopefully you're seeing some of those options in the poll. And you can also kind of jump on that. Look at this, though. The 02 machine got JDRgraphics.com, one of the premier, Bob, one of the premier painters of cars in all of iRacing. And we got JDRgraphics, of course, .com on the hood of that 02 machine. And Josh Kosick is mowing through this field, absolutely mowing it down. I know there's been a lot of people over the last couple of weeks, they've been broadcasting and streaming Lawn Mowing Simulator. Well, I think Josh Kosick right now is streaming Field Mowing Simulator, as he has gone from 19th to 5th in the opening 10 laps or so.
Yeah, you know, they say a great paint job adds horsepower onto the car, and you can really tell how many more horses he's got under his hood there. He's just absolutely mowing down the competition right now, currently in 5th, and just behind him, we're looking at a pretty good battle there between Johnston, Ewing, Freeman, and, well, pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, and JD Laird, who had that fantastic showing last week at Chicagoland Motor Speedway, he is in this battle as well, right behind, Jimmy Mckee. So Laird making progress up through the field here early as well, running that good-looking number 46 machine right there, running behind Tristan Maher, Jimmy Mckee. Tim Johnson's in that battle. Jason Freeman, almost 3 wide between a couple of these drivers. Back behind them, John Borst and Philip Scott are battling with one another. Briar Fritz in that group as well. Lupe Gonzalez. Some really good battling going on right now here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here early in this run.
Yeah, just some fantastic battles all over the racetrack. But right now out front, the 27, Anthony DeBarro, one of the Dizzy Motorsports drivers. Dizzy actually running 1-2 with Nick Cohan just behind him in that CJ Auto machine. As we get a bit of a replay here, the 97 Mike Floppy Tellier just kind of snapping out of existence, then driving through the grass there. So little tough break there for one of our Polyhedral Cathedral Dash for Cash drivers this evening.
Yeah, and I think things have gotten worse for Mike Floppy Tellier. He's now 7.5 seconds behind the race lead, who is Anthony DeBarro up there. Nick Cohan now up into the second position behind, oh my goodness, Josh Kosick there smacking the wall. We said he was doing field mowing simulator. Well, now he's jumped over to the wall mowing simulator, and I'll tell you what, Bob, that usually isn't very good in iRacing. When you switch from the field mowing to the wall mowing, things go south very quickly.
Yeah, unfortunate too, because he was having such a great run and looked like a pretty hard lick there coming out of turn number 2, so he may start having to slide back just a little bit. But as we say that, he's now getting some pressure behind him by the 46 machine of JD Laird, looking to set his sights on the target for him.
Yeah, JD has now picked up 13 positions, now solidly inside the top 10. So that strong showing from last week at the Chicagoland Speedway here coming to the forefront again as he looks to the inside of Kosick and will make that pass stick coming out of turn number 2. Kosick not making it all too difficult. As you see, pretty much single file now through most of the field up at the front. However, it is Anthony DeBarro with a little bit of a gap over his Dizzy Motorsports teammate there, Nick Cohan, in his machine. And you can see that that number 21 machine will get a little bit of a close-up there of the DeBarro Sliders 27. They actually have a die-cut sticker of DeBarro Sliders in that logo that you see on that car. Very cool. But there is a CJAuto21.com machine, and I gotta say, they also have quite a lot of CJ Auto 21 stuff on the website, as well as a signature Nick Cohan bright orange hoodie, which is very, very cool. Again, some of the stuff that we have kind of in the poll right now is just little teasers for some of the stuff that they have on that site. And right there in third spot, the number 8 machine of Andrew Himmelman. He's needing some of that Dizzy merch. I know Tana's in the chat. That'd be kind of a good, almost a gag gift there for Andrew in that SimShots number 8 machine to get some Dizzy Motorsports merch, Bob.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a rivalry there between Andrew and the Dizzy Motorsports guys. All in good fun here as he's looking to track down the 21 of Nick Cohan. And, I could definitely see a bit of a gag gift coming his way from the DizzyMerch.com folks.
Yeah, let's go on board here with third place as we see Andrew Himmelman and Nick Cohan start to go side by side as you see the longest Facebook page link in the history. Unfortunately, SimShots don't have a fancy Facebook page link, but you can see it in its entirety there on the back of the number 8 machine. Of course, all you need to do is go on Facebook and type in SimShots to find them. One of the series partners here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. Himmelman going to move his way up to second. Buttafuoco now also going to slide up into third. So Nick Cohan sliding back. I know we have Hondo Longmire in the chat here saying, did I miss anything but Nick Cohan sucking? Well, Nick has slid back to 4th, so that probably just reinforces your point there, Hondo, as we'll see whether or not he can bounce back. He did start this race in the 5th position, now back into the 4th spot as they run JD Laird in the number 46. It's closing in maybe just a little bit on Shane Ewing in front of him. In fact, let's see if we can bring up kind of the lap time history between those two drivers right there, and you can see kind of just trading off best times amongst one another here at this stage of the run, Bob. But we're closing in on the quarter race distance, only one caution so far.
Yeah, only one caution there coming off of lap number 1, and right now the guys are just kind of out there in their rhythm as we see a good side-by-side battle here, but everyone's just kind of in their rhythm right now. They've fallen in. They're just kind of hitting their marks, letting laps tick down. But this is a really good battle there between the 10 of Jimmy Mckee and Tim Johnston as well, this battle for 10th place.
Yeah, and now make that a battle between Josh Gerlach and Jimmy Mckee. So this is around the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th positions. There's John Borst in the 0 on the right-hand side of your screen as well, as these two continue to run side by side around this 1.5 mile racetrack. It's one of those racetracks, Bob, where turns number 1 and 2 race quite a bit differently than turn number 3 and 4. We'll have to highlight that with an onboard here in just a little while. But John Borst now trying to pick up that spot from Jimmy Mckee. Mckee here really starting to struggle in the number 10. Contact. Great save out of the number 10. And, Jimmy Mckee, I thought he might have just cleared John Borst going off into turn number 1, but Borst was there. They made a little bit of contact and made a great save between both of them.
Yeah, fantastic save there. It looks like the 0 kind of just tried to dive it in underneath the 10 machine, as we'll get a really good replay here of the action. But, it just looked like two guys trying to go for the same spot of real estate, and just a tiny bit of coming together between the 0 and the 10. It looks like right here, the 10, well, maybe he wasn't clear. Might have thought he was. The 10 was already down there. At least that's what it looks like from this camera angle. But, man, what a fantastic save. And I thought for sure they were going to come together here coming out of the corner, but a great job by both drivers to keep it clean and keep it all going in one direction.
And we're back live, and they continue to race tight with one another. Jason Gracias making a move on Tristan Thuggy Maher. That will move Gracias now up into 8th, trying to find some of that T-Rex speed on that number 1 machine. Got Max Graphics on the hood. Ironically, we'll get to that point in just a second as Tim Johnston and Thuggy Maher now go side by side. But I was about to say, ironically, there was a recent study, Bob, that they believe Tyrannosaurus Rexi, I don't know what the plural is, but T-Rexes, we'll just go with that they weren't as fast as they make them out to be in the movies, that they were actually quite slow animals, even at full speed, which is something mind-boggling because we've all seen Jurassic Park and we all think, no one could outrun them, but I believe the current consensus is that a human might be able to actually outrun a T-Rex between people of scholarly Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Anyway, so just keep that in mind. If there's one takeaway from the race here tonight, it might be the fact that you might be able to outrun a T-Rex. Hopefully we don't clone one and happen to find out at some point. I think Jurassic Park told us that was a bad idea. But anyway, back to the race here, Bob, is, oh my goodness, Josh Kosick continues to struggle in the O2 machine back there.
Yeah, that turn 2 wall has been really a big hindrance for that 0-2 machine. Just that's the second or third time he's gotten into the wall coming at it too. And, like you had mentioned, Peter, that these different corners race so differently. With turn 1, you kind of have to start high and let the banking carry you down a little bit more into the corner, whereas turns 3 and 4 are deceptively tight and narrow. You actually have to slow down just a little bit more than you would for 1 and 2, and it's a very tough track to get around, but it's also a heck of a lot of fun too.
Let's go on board here with Garrett Gleason through turn number 3 and 4. And folks, it might not immediately be apparent what you were saying, Bob, that these two corners race so differently. But turn number 1 and 2, we're going to turn 1 right here. Very gradual entry into turn number 1. The racetrack kind of swings out for the entry, and then you can kind of really hug it right down there at the bottom. The racetrack feels extremely wide through there, but then turn number 3 right here, the racetrack narrows up just a little bit. It's tighter on this end of the racetrack, and also right here the banking drops away from you so fast right there where the turn 4 wall is, and you can sometimes get that a little bit wrong and end up in the outside wall. So usually turn number 4 is what I like to call Calamity Corner here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but tonight it has been right here out of turn number 2 for a couple of these drivers. So hopefully we will see more green flag action, as we have been now green flag for here on 30 laps here. Of course, that might be the kiss of death. Anthony DeBarro up at the front, Andrew Himmelman, Daniel Buttafuoco in second and third, but those two drivers are glued together out there on the racetrack right now, Bob.
Yeah, you can really fit a blanket under Himmelman and Buttafuoco there, and these guys really are having a good, strong race. Both able to get around the 21 machine of Nick Cohan and set their sights for the 27 of DeBarro. But right now, if I'm DeBarro, I'm looking in my mirror and saying, all right, Daniel, let's go. Let's get next to the 8 of Himmelman, try to slow him down just a little bit so I can extend my lead and, you know, get to battling here. There's still plenty of time to go here in this race. But pit stops will be coming up fairly soon, and probably the next, I'd say, about 15 to 20 laps or so. But, you know, you kind of have to start thinking, all right, when am I going to pit? How are my tires looking? What's going on right now? And, I mean, that'll be a whole nother ball game when we get to green flag pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And races can be won or lost on pit road, that's for sure. How about this? We got a side-by-side battle right now brewing right behind your race leader. That is between Andrew Himmelman and Daniel Buttafuoco. They're side-by-side going off into turn number 3. Get the spot to Buttafuoco as he moves on past the SimShots number 8 machine. Buttafuoco has shown quite a bit of pace here since working his way into the Total Nonstop Racing League, just waiting for that number 30 to see the checkered flag first. He's now up into second, running right behind Anthony DeBarro. 2 very capable drivers, really 3 very capable drivers right there inside your top 3. Nick Cohan running in the 4th position as well. And in fact, looking at your top 3, they are exactly where they were at the drop of the green flag. 1, 2, 3 on the grid, running 1, 2, 3 right. Now, JD Laird, though, is the biggest mover of the race so far. Jason Grossi is continuing his climb. Last time we checked in on him, he was in 8th. Now he's going for 5th. Making the move here on Shane Ewing. Tim Johnston in this battle as well. JD Laird, Jason Freeman. Ooh, Laird might have just kissed the wall. Some sparks coming from the right side of the Valvoline number 46 Chevy Camaro. And now he's in that high line. It doesn't quite seem like 2 lines is working like I expected it to here tonight, Bob. I was expecting this racetrack to be fairly wide, but definitely these drivers preferring right down there on the white line.
Yeah, turns 3 and 4 can be really, really tricky to get that second higher groove working. But when you can, it does wind up getting you a bit of speed, but it kind of hurts with how tight and narrow the exit of turn 4 can be, like you had mentioned, Peter, with that being a bit of Calamity Corner. So I'm a little surprised to see some of these guys up top as we see a bit of smoke out there on the track, and a car down on pit road. Looks like that's the O2 of Cossack. So his night getting progressively worse and worse as these laps tick down.
Yeah, let's see if we can see what happened here to the driver of the number 02 Supra. Just got down there on the flat and did a fantastic job of saving his 02 machine. Comes down onto pit road. It might be night done for the 02. We'll see whether or not they can get him repaired back up. And we are hearing that it sounds like he is down and away and should be working his way out there on to the racetrack here very shortly. Up at the front, however, look at this, Bob. Battle for the race lead. Buttafuoco has caught DeBarro here. So the number 27 and the number 30 about to do battle here in the Dizzy Merch 150 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, this has been a great battle. Buttafuoco was able to catch DeBarro, had Buttafuoco's last lap was a 32.2, and DeBarro was about a 32.3. So about the 10th quicker this last lap, and he's just gaining ever so slightly. And this is going to be a really good battle now, as just behind these two, Himmelman and the 21 of Nick Cohan, all able to get bunched up just a little bit here on the leader.
Yeah, and Cohan might be reeling in Andrew Himmelman here as well, so I'm wondering if your front four are kind of accordioning back together here late in the run. We've been green flag now for almost 40 laps. I expect to see these drivers on pit road around the halfway mark, that is for sure. Side-by-side battle a little bit further back in the pack as Bill Edwards trying to climb his way up towards the top 10. Things not going all too well right now for Bill Edwards because, Bob, he's another one of those drivers we'll be keeping our eyes on for being on the cut line to make it into the Total Nonstop Racing chase for the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series Cup that we will, of course, be bringing you here on the channel, not beginning next week, but the week after that. So we will definitely see some great hard racing as we have seen all season long. Here's J.D. Laird leading a little bit of a three-car train. You can see on the left side of your screen, Jason Gracias and Tim Johnson have pulled away. There's Kosick in his 0-2 on fresh tires, working his way through some of this slower traffic. And Kosick getting really close to the back of Gerlach, and he had to back out of it to avoid contact with the number 71. That was almost big right there, but Kosick backs out of it wisely, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground just to gain it back up on the fresh rubber that he has. There's Tristan Maher, Bob, currently riding in 10th back there with Shane Ewing.
Yeah, it was had a good battle there with the 32 of Ewing, and looks like Ewing's not out of this fight just yet, as they're going to be side-by-side heading off here into turn number 3. And right there is probably about as high as you want to get with that left side tire right around that seam. Because any bit higher, you're going to have a hard time getting off of corner number 4 much harder. But here we are out front. A nice battle for the lead side by side as they head down the back straightaway.
Buttafuoco has caught DeBarro. He wants that lead before the halfway mark. We're just 5 laps this time away from seeing the cross flags here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Buttafuoco has, I think, clear him. Yes, he has. Makes the pass. Daniel Buttafuoco, leader for the first time here tonight on lap number 46. Can he pull away from the DeBarro sliders, number 27? You see the number 3 machine right there on your screen. That is Jason Shu working his way out onto the racetrack. We can confirm, as I'm sure you've confirmed yourself at home, up at the top of the screen, Kevin Stone has unfortunately taken the Desert Hobbies number 14 to the garage. He has not had a whole lot of luck here on 3 Wide TV as of late. Checking out the chat right now. Young Gibbs saying Nick Cohan sucks too. I believe there's quite a bit of love for that Nick Sucks shirt in the chat here tonight. Make sure you check out dizzymerch.com if you have not already. Some really, really cool stuff on there, as well as that Nick Sucks shirt that I mentioned. It is a really cool design as well. I think that's something where we have at least a couple of people jumping on board. JT Poole saying because it's Nick, just stay tuned sports getting in on it. Guys, really appreciate you jumping in on the chat here. As Andrew Himmelman, look at this, Bob, gonna make the pass here on Anthony DeBarro. So DeBarro here late in the run, losing his tires presumably underneath him.
Yeah, it's been 48 laps here of straight through racing, aside from the first couple of laps under yellow. But right now, this is going to be a really, really good battle here, as the 0-2 of Kosick is going to go around both of these drivers, which should leave a little bit of space there for the 27 of DeBarro on Himmelman now as they're side by side heading off into the corner. some really great, close, tight racing between these two drivers.
Yeah, so while we have this battle going on, we also have this battle going on between Jason Freeman in the number 20 and JD Laird. Laird, who is the biggest mover of the race here, got all the way up, I believe, to the 5th position briefly. Now has moved back to 8th and under fire from Freeman right here on the back half of the top 10. Just wondering, Bob, if JD maybe used up that Goodyear rubber a little bit too early in his number 20, but we will just have to wait and see whether or not he can sort that out, as we got that battle right back for the 2nd position. And look who's joined that mix. Nick Cohan has caught both Andrew Himmelman and Anthony DeBarro. He's going to want to try and pick up this 2nd position, as Buttafuoco now up to 0.8 of a second lead up at the front of the field.
Man, some really close, tight racing there by the 27 and the 8 of DeBarro. Now it looks like Cohan's going to go up and take the high line there and give his teammate DeBarro a little bit of a push here through turns 1 and 2. Coming out through onto the back straightaway, however, Andrew Himmelman is going to move up to P number 2. But as I say that, what a great crossover move there by DeBarro, trying to get to the inside, in trouble as those two drivers come together. No caution as everyone's able to keep it going straight.
And remember what I was saying about that Disney Motorsports merch right there, possibly being a little bit of a gag hit for Andrew Himmelman? Well, you just saw it right there. Let's go see if we can get this replay dialed up for you folks, because this one's going to be kind of an interesting one. Let's see if we can get it right here. Oh, man, those signs getting right there. Oh, let's see if we can get another look at that. Nope, that's definitely not going to do it. Let's see if we can get the TV3 cam. There we go. We'll just go back and watch it this time using this cam and see what happened here between these drivers. Slow it down here. That's not a great angle. There we go. And, oh, man, that's an interesting one there, Bob. We didn't get a great look of it there, at least not a super long look, but it looked like Himmelman was maybe creeping down the racetrack, and they just kind of two cars in the same spot out there.
Yeah, another instance of battling for the same piece of real estate. There, as the 8 looked like he might have came down a little bit. The 27 was already there to go, and yeah, just one of those racing deals, but a great job of driving by all 3 of them to avoid any further contact. As now we're getting a lot more green flag pit stops as our leader Daniel Buttafuoco goes down onto pit road, who's going to relinquish the lead now to the 21 machine of Nick Cohan.
Yeah, a lot of drivers electing to make their pit stop here. Andrew Himmelman, lengthy stay in his pit box. Here, Bob, I don't know if Andrew Himmelman got nabbed for speeding, but he will definitely here have a really, really long stay. I can only think he got nabbed for speeding. We got Anthony DeBarro on pit road right now as well. You see Andrew Himmelman, he's just waiting to go. They dropped the jacks, and he is down and away. Here comes Nick Cohan on pit road. We got the 55, Steven Doziak, a little bit of a different look on the 55 this week. Nick Cohan, Tim Johnston in his box. Up at the top of the screen, Breyer Fritz. So a lot of action happening. But let's see if we can go back and see if we can see what happened to Andrew Himmelman coming down pit road, because I can only think that things going from bad to worse for the number 8 of Himmelman here. Just trying to find where iRacing first said he was entering the pits. Here we go. Let's see if we can... Well, that is unfortunately when he was already on pit road. Let me back it up just a little bit further for all the people at home interested in Andrew Himmelman's pit road entry. Here we go. On board with him right here. This was after the contact. And kind of a late lunge to pit road, and he tried to get it down to pit road speed, but I think just a little bit too fast entering there, Bob, and unfortunately had to serve that penalty, a costly penalty for the number 8 machine, as he continues to have just rotten luck here. Kind of shook it off last week at the Chicagoland Speedway, but here tonight, pit road speeding penalty.
Yeah, just a really tough break there for the number 8 machine, and he had a really great run going. Obviously we had mentioned of him starting there in the 3rd position, wound up with a great battle for the lead, and then a great battle for second there. Unfortunately, a little bit of a coming together between he and the 27. But then just to make matters worse, getting that speeding penalty on pit road. Just, a really tough break there. Really, really talented driver, Andrew His, and, just kind of snake bitten with his luck lately.
So, folks, that will drop the number 8 machine of Andrew Himmelman off the lead lap down to the 23rd spot. We mentioned a little while ago that races could be won or lost on pit road. Well, unfortunately for Andrew Himmelman, that might be very well the case tonight. Now, don't adjust your screens here, folks, at all. Jason Gracias in the number 1 has somehow found some of that T-Rex magic and is actually your race leader. Surprisingly, Jason Gracias has not only made his pit stop, but did so with a very, very quick pit stop time. Definitely took 4 tires. It wasn't quite that fast, excuse me. But, ooh, man, 3 of Jason's shoe there, just smack of the wall in entry. But it has allowed Jason Gracias to be your race leader. The only bad news for Jason, he has 1 lap older tires than the car who's chasing him, Daniel Buttafuoco, right there in the number 30. But then you have to go quite a ways back to driver of the number 21 machine, Nick Cohan, who's found himself now in 3rd right there. We're also hearing that Anthony DeBarro has had troubles. Not sure what happened to Anthony DeBarro, but the 27 machine, Bob, has gone all the way back to 16th position in the DeBarro Sliders Toyota. So he has quite a long way to climb back up through the field if he wants to have any shot at winning tonight's race.
Yeah, very interesting. Been out there for about 7 laps now, a 14.3 second pit stop. I'm not seeing anything that might have caused him to fall back that much, unless things got a little bit squirrely coming out of pit road, whether he spun the tires a bit too much on the banking or lack thereof coming back onto the racetrack. But a little surprised to see him that far back in the lineup, especially after being 2nd or 3rd there before the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know he made one of the later pit stops, but it wasn't that late. So definitely a long night left for the number 27 of Anthony DeBarro. Just check out the chat. In the chat saying that there is quite a bit of stuff going on between some of these drivers. So there's quite a bit of some yapping going on in the chat. Folks, just remember to keep it clean in the chat. We're not throwing punches in there. We're not those types of families here in Total Nonstop Racing League, as much as I don't know, some people have wanted to go to blows before, but hey, it is what it is. Kind of a racing deal sometimes. Sometimes you're on the bad end of it. We shall see. But hey, Jason Gracias right now is your race leader. Daniel Buttafuoco right back behind him. Nick Cohan in 3rd, but about 2.7 seconds behind Jason Gracias, who is still your race leader with that stellar pit stop in his Toyota Supra, and did a really good job, Bob, on the long run. Did Jason Gracias right there. We saw him start to pick up some of those spots. He got himself up inside the top 5 before coming down for that pit stop. So maybe Gracias here has a shot. Great pit stop. Out there in the lead. Has 1 lap older tires than Buttafuoco. But if he can save his tires here, potentially we could be looking at Jason Gracias going to victory lane. And wouldn't that be cool? One of your former series champions here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2020A series champion back when the Total Nonstop Racing League was running the ARCA cars. But as we say this, he's getting a whole lot of pressure there from the 30 machine of Daniel Buttafuoco. And here's Buttafuoco. He's going to peek underneath. Can't quite get there in time, as the one of Jason Gracias is going to dive down here in turns number 3 and 4. But, if we're able to get the one of Gracias into victory lane, that'll be cool to see one of the OGs of the Total Nonstop Racing League down there in victory lane. It's been quite a while there for Jason since he's won here in the TNR League. Yeah,
that is absolutely for sure. Doing a good job so far of holding off Buttafuoco. But as I say that, Buttafuoco to the inside really sends it into turn number 3. Did the number 30. They will be side by side coming out of turn number 4, and Gracias with the 1 lap older tires might not have enough tire underneath him to hold off the number 30, and he does not. Daniel Buttafuoco to the race lead here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, closing in on the 2/3 race distance. This race just flying by here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the DizzyMerch.com 150 here on 3Y TV. Make sure you check out the DizzyMerch.com shop for all of your Dizzy Motorsports shirts and fanny packs and die-cut decals and basically anything else you can get. They quote-unquote wall tapestries, beach towels on the website, die-cut stickers. I mean, just everything you can imagine if you want some of that Dizzy merch. Pretty cool stuff. They even, I was going to say, I thought they had coffee mugs, but it doesn't look like they do. Dizzy merch had some coffee mugs just for those of us who like to drink the coffee. So anyway, up at the front, Buttafuoco, Gracias, and Nick Cohan is in 3rd in the number 21 machine. And then it's quite a ways back to J.D. Laird here in the number 46. But again, Laird having another good showing here tonight, Bob.
Yeah, started 20th. He's able to move his way up to 4th. Had a pretty good run going there before the green flag pit stops, and then after green flag pit stops, able to kind of continue on that as we see a little bit more smoke out in front of these drivers. Looked like might have been a car just trying to get down pit road again. So no harm, no foul there. But yeah, Peter, J.D. Laird has been having a really strong run here, and the last few races that he's been in also have been pretty darn strong.
They're currently riding in the 4th position. Only 1 caution flag here tonight if you're just now joining us on the channel. We really appreciate you joining the race here tonight and watching along here on 3Y TV on YouTube. And folks, make sure you give a thumbs up. Like the video. We got 17 people watching right now. Let's see if we can hit double digits again here tonight. Let's see if we can get to 10 likes. If you haven't yet already made the thumb blue, make sure you do so about now. We'd love to see those like spikes, if you will, here on the channel, not only to help out the channel, but also to help out the Total Nonstop Racing League and everything they do for these drivers here in the iRacing.com simulator. Just checking to see if we have any good battles for position. We got this one right here inside the top 10 brewing here, Bob. We got Shane Ewing and Josh Gerlach, and it looks like Gerlach's got a run on the 32.
Yeah, Gerlach with a great run, diving down into turn number 1 here. Able to carry the momentum through the corner and stay down low. So the 01 of Chambrone coming off of pit road. Got a little tight there, but here comes the 32 of Ewing looking to try to battle back underneath of him, but nothing going there, and some good battling, and lurking behind them is our points leader, the 28 of Tim Johnston.
Yeah, Tim not having the best of nights, trying to work his way back up towards the front. He pitted on lap number 54, so one of the later drivers to pit will get around Shane Ewing, who was one of the earlier drivers to pit. So move Tim now back up into 8th. Going to try and close in on the number 71 in front of him. Tim has 1 lap fresher tires than Josh Gerlach in front of him. 2 lap fresher tires than Tristan Maher in 6th. And Jason Freeman in 5th as well. So we might be keeping our eyes on the USAA Toyota Supra here for quite some time. Just looking a little bit further back in the pack, some of the drivers we have not really featured here tonight. There is the number 35 machine of Lupe Gonzalez right there on your screen. A solid 14th place run here. The 05 right in front of him is Casey Miller. Miller is running in the 23rd spot. Bob, I know we saw a little bit of contact with the outside wall on the 05 early in the race, and I think that has really hurt Casey Miller's pace here tonight, unfortunately. But right there, Lupe Gonzalez in the 14th position, right behind Anthony DeBarro in front of him. DeBarro starting to close in on Jimmy Mckee. Mckee just outside the top 10 in 12th. Then Bill Edwards and John Borst in the 11th and 10th positions, respectively. There you see Garrett Gleason in the Dunn Raceway Park number 7 machine right there. And unfortunately for Garrett Gleason, he is currently being scored 1 lap down to this driver right here, Daniel Buttafuoco, who has not exactly been able to pull a whole lot of distance on the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias. Gracias still staying within striking distance with the T-Rex machine. Granted, they don't have the longest arms in the world, or I guess they don't have any arms in the world anymore because they're all dead, but they've never had the longest arms to begin with, I should say, back when they were alive. But Gracias not really backing down, at just about a half second behind Buttafuoco.
Yeah, just about a T-Rex length away from the leader is Jason Gracias. And Gracias really, we've seen it from races over the years where Gracias is really good at being able to save tires. And, this could be one of those situations where, he's got a 1 lap older set of tires than our leader, Buttafuoco. But, 1 lap is a pretty good amount to save. And, if Gracias can just kind of hold strong there, get a caution at the right time, and, Gracias definitely not out of contention quite yet, as we get a great battle now between Jason Freeman and Tristan Maher. Move Maher up to 5th and Freeman back to 6th.
Yeah, so the number 98 3-wide TV machine now back up into the top 5. Good job there by Tristan Maher. Pitted on lap number 52, same lap as Jason Freeman. They are being caught a little bit from behind with some fresher tires back there. But these drivers putting on a good show for the fans as we're down to just 22 laps to go here tonight. Again, caution flags at a premium here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. I mean, how often can you say, Bob, that there have been 2 or 3 consecutive weeks with less than 3 caution flags? Been so impressive how this league has been able to put on a show with minimal contact, with big fields. It is really cool to see these drivers as they get towards the chase for the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series, although there was almost contact there with Breyer Fritz as they headed off into turn number 3.
Yeah, Peter, and that just goes to show how talented all of these drivers are out there for the Total Nonstop Racing League. Only 1 caution, only a handful of cautions last week, and even the race prior at Chicagoland, where there was only 1 caution. That just goes to show how clean and how strong this field is, week in and week out, with all of these drivers and having large fields that we do. It's a pretty big testament to what these admins here at the Total Nonstop Racing League have done as these races go on.
That is for sure. We're watching this battle right now between Mike Floppy Tellier and Steven Doziak. They are nose to tail heading down the backstretch towards turn number 3. A little bit of a new look this week on Steven Doziak's number 55. He'll have to chime in the chat, let us know what that paint scheme is. We know he isn't afraid to text and drive under caution. He probably won't do it while he's racing, especially not battling for a position with Mike Floppy Tellier, but we know that the 55 listens on during the races. So, Doze, go get him. Go mow down that number 97. Oh, just don't wreck him. Just don't wreck him. But just seeing if there's any other battles for position. Everything kind of calming down just a little bit. Buttafuoco and Gracias still within a second of one another, but Nick Cohan in the number 21 machine also now starting to close in on Jason Gracias. That is down to less than a second between the 1 and the 21. Can Nick Cohan not only catch Jason Gracias but get around Daniel Buttafuoco? That's another interesting topic, Bob. Let's talk about that for a second. There is Buttafuoco just behind that battle that we're just focusing on for position between the 55 and the 97. But Buttafuoco had to do all that work to get around the 1 of Gracias. Might have used up his tires a little bit. Nick Cohan has been pretty much by himself for a majority of this run. Maybe had the opportunity to save a little bit more tires than Buttafuoco and Gracias. Also, a little bit of a lap advantage for Nick Cohan. He pitted 2 laps after Gracias, 1 lap after Buttafuoco. At this point of the run, probably doesn't matter a whole lot, but that's another thing to keep in mind. And he does have his teammate there back behind him, Nick Chambrone, maybe able to give him a little bit of drafting help down the straightaways here.
Yeah, and that little bit of drafting help, that little bit of, I guess, lack of difficulty getting around some of these lap cars like his teammate in the 01, that really could be a pretty big advantage for the 21 machine of Nick Cohan as this race goes on. But, here, Peter, as I say this, the 01 of Chambrone says, you know what, I've had a bit enough. I'm going to get around you, Nick. And there he goes. But again, maybe being able to be in the wake of the car in front of him, able to save a little bit of fuel, maybe save some tires going through the corner, just being pulled along there by the 01. But, it'll definitely be interesting now with 15 laps to go.
It definitely will. Just looking a little bit further back, there's Jason Freeman. He has been caught and passed by Josh Gerlach in the number 71 machine. Gerlach trying to close in now on Tristan Thuggy Maher. Just a little bit faster over the last 5 laps than Maher. So we will keep our eyes on that and see whether or not Gerlach can work his way back into the top 5. It says it's always race day on the hood of the number 71 machine. It isn't always race day here on 3Y TV, but it will be Wednesday night here on the channel, and then we have to go quite some time for the next race. At least the next race that I'll be broadcasting. We do have races through the middle of the week here on the channel, typically. But Bob, we're down to just 14 laps to go. Can you believe it?
Yeah, this race has absolutely flown by, and the thing that's crazy to me, but certainly appreciative, is that there was only one caution that came on lap 1 when everyone was super bunched up, and since then it's been some pretty clear sailing. Here is now the 71 of Gerlach takes a look to the inside of Tristan Thuggy Maher. This is a great battle here for 5th, and the lap car of Vinny Valvano might wind up being a bit of a pick for one of these drivers.
Yeah, looks like Maher's gotten to the inside of the 38. So I don't think Valvano will have too much of a say in this battle right here. But it looks like they will all get themselves all settled out, at least for right now. Gerlach still just a little bit faster than that number 98 right in front of him. You're not missing anything up at the front. Daniel Buttafuoco able to put another half of a second or so on Jason Gracias. Gracias and Nick Cohan, that gap is staying steady at about 0.8 of a second. So Buttafuoco here looking very strong, starting to stretch it out up at the front of the field. The number 30 on track potentially to going to victory lane here in the Total Nonstop Racing League as Gerlach gets another big run. He sends it down off into turn number 1. Bob might have slid up just a little bit, but he's able to keep that number 71 glued to that white line. They continue to run side by side here off into turn number 3.
Man, some fantastic tight racing here as neither driver willing to give an inch. And what's crazy to me is that these guys are able to do this on 30-some-odd lap tires, almost close to 40 laps there on their tires, 38 and 39 respectively, and they're still able to keep up some pretty good speed here side by side going through the corner, dodging some lap cars there as the 05 of Casey Miller is put behind them. So just some fantastic racing for these drivers there on older tires, and things are getting pretty tight out there.
Looking a little bit further back, right around the 9th spot, John Boris, Shane Ewing going to battle with one another. Looks like it will be the 0 of John Boris getting in front of the number 32 of Ewing. So move him up into 9th. Another driver, Bob, who kind of always puts together as strong of a race as he can. You don't see John Boris making all too many mistakes. That's why he is where he is in the points. And here tonight, a solid 9th place run for that driver right there on your screen, as he will start to pull away from Ewing back behind him. Just looking to see if there's any real battles for position going on. Tellier and Doziak now got the leaders going through them. Currently 1 lap down, but Tellier still holding on to that spot in the number 97. Canadian driver from Sarnia, Ontario, in the Flat Out Racing Network number 97. Still just able to do enough to keep Steven Doziak in the rearview mirror. We'll see if that changes towards the end of the race. There's Josh Gerlach. He's gotten around Tristan Thuggy Maher, and now able to put a couple of tenths between him and the number 98. Just breathing room right now for Gerlach as he tries to pull away.
A lot of fans in the chat of the 71 there of Gerlach. Young Gibbs saying Josh Garlick is easily the best driver on Dizzy. And then Hondo Longmire follows up with the Garlic. He's LOL. So fans of Nick Cohan and Josh Gerlach there in the chat cheering them on here as we have 6 laps to go here in this race.
I don't know if you can call them fans of Nick Cohan with some of the stuff they've been saying in the chat here tonight. But Garlic is looking on track to score a top 5 here tonight, as we are now down just to 5 more laps to go. And remember that battle between Mike Tellier, Steven Doziak? Well, it's starting to hot up behind him as well, as Steven Kegman, the 22, the Angry Orchard machine, is just starting to close in just a little bit on these two. Last time by, Kegman was about 6/10 of a second. Yes, 6/10 of a second faster than the 97 and the number 55. So let's see what Kegman can do here in his Angry Orchard machine. Can he continue that pace or not? It just doesn't look like it. Seems like maybe he stalled out just a little bit. Maybe got a little bit of downforce issues on that number 22 following the 55 so closely. But Kegman here really starting to make some noise on these two. Meanwhile, Bill Edwards and Shane Ewing give the spot to Bill Edwards as Ewing continues to slide back here, Bob. Ewing now back to 12th. Bill Edwards is in 11th in the Pantero Mobile. Of course, ran that last week in the Stay Tuned Sports Rock and Roll 150 that we had at Nashville Super Speedway. Great to see all those schemes last week. In fact, we have a couple here tonight still running their rock and roll scheme, but we're coming to just 2 laps to go. And that man right there, Daniel Buttafuoco, has put together one heck of a race and solidly is in position to get to victory lane here tonight at Charlotte.
Yeah, barring any freak turn 4 incidents with blown tires, the 30 of Daniel Buttafuoco really had a strong race all race long, always around the top 5 there. After having a pretty good pit stop, found himself just there in second, able to track down the 1 of Jason Gracias. But, you know, with a lap and a half to go, as long as there's not a caution, looks like Buttafuoco is going to get himself his second win here in the Total Nonstop Racing League this season.
Coming to that white flag, we will not see another caution flag here tonight. Hopefully, we can work our way around this racetrack. Of course, Buttafuoco got his first career Total Nonstop Racing win at Talladega Super Speedway a couple of weeks back in the Polyhedral Cathedral 160. And here tonight, gonna go to victory lane, assuming we don't see any of those blown tires that you mentioned in turn number 4 there, Bob. But Buttafuoco has clean track in front of him. Coming out of turn number 4, coming to the line. Checkered flag is out. Goes to victory lane in the DizzyMerch.com 150. Gracias going to come across the line in second. Nick Cohan rounding out your podium here tonight. J.D. Laird going to come home in 4th. Josh Gerlach in the 5th position in front of Tristan Thuggy Maher, Jason Freeman, Tim Johnson. Your points leader going to finish 8th, Anthony DeBarro 9th, and John Borst rounding out your top 10. What a race here tonight, Bob. Only one caution. Can you believe it?
Yeah, absolutely crazy with how close this racing has been and how tight the setup here is on the long run. Just one caution out there on the racetrack on lap number 1. That's a pretty big deal, but a great win and a great race there for that 30 machine of Daniel Buttafuoco.
Yeah, Buttafuoco going to burn it down here on the front stretch. He's got JDR Graphics on his Chevy Camaro. Got a congratulations from JD Laird there as they went across the start-finish line. I'm sure JD will be glad to see another JDR Graphics machine go into victory lane here on 3Y TV as Buttafuoco shows us how to burn it down here on the front stretch. Love some of these celebratory burnouts that we see here. Just getting into the wall there. Got to make sure it's legal, Bob.
Yeah, you know, just got to pass the post-race TNR inspection and just making sure the body's in line as much as he can there. So no harm, no foul.
Yeah, no harm, no foul, at least in the virtual world. We'll see if we can get some of these post-race interviews lined up for you folks, and let's see if we can just kind of jump straight into them here, Bob. Let's see if we can get Nick Cohan. Bob, I think you've caught up with driver of the number 21 machine.
I do. Nick Cohan, Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3-Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Bob.
Hey, Nick. Well, third place finish, another pretty strong run out there for you in the last couple of weeks. Just kind of starting to hit your stride there before the chase starts.
Kinda. It's a little disappointing. We kind of just didn't save the tires as good as I feel like I should have. But I mean, not to make excuses, but I had the same wheel for 10 years, and this is the first time I'm trying a totally different new wheel. So I'm pretty happy to finish top 3 with a completely new system here. But really thought I was saving my tires really good that last run, and I thought I might be able to catch Daniel, but man, just fell off a cliff there. So we're finishing top 3 is good, but we're gonna need to do better than that come playoff time.
Well, Nick, you had mentioned saving your tires. How tough was it to save your tires? I know they had mentioned in the pre-race drivers meeting that the setup on the long run starts getting a bit tight, and the tighter the car, I'm sure it's a bit harder to save the tires, especially that right front tire. How hard was it to actually save out there?
I've always kind of prided myself on saving my stuff and just saving my tires and being there at the end. That's always kind of how I tried to race. And, that first run, like I said, was first time out on this wheel. And I actually felt better in a long run there than I did in the second run. And, the second run, I kind of just tried to do the exact same thing I did in the first run, but just a little more smoother. And for the first 25 laps or so, I just made sure I hit the right line. And that's real key to saving your tires, is making sure you get the left side down on that line and not getting on the throttle too quick that you have to lift by the time you get to the exit. If you do that, you're burning your right front off. So, like I said, a little confused. I thought it did so much better with that in the second run, because I really didn't have to lift on exit at all until maybe the last 15 laps or so. But just didn't do a good enough job. It's hard to do. It's hard to save tires, and Daniel did a really, really good job of that tonight. And congrats to him on winning. And like I said, as a team and myself, especially with the new wheel coming here right before the playoffs, is a little tricky. But we're gonna have to put in a little extra practice, try and make sure we got the speed, and we also keep the tires on it too, because that's it's not my thing to burn tires that bad like that. I really felt pretty good that I'd be able to at least get to his bumper. I knew passing was gonna be really tough, but congrats to Daniel on really doing a really good job of just all around great race for him.
Well, Nick, you had mentioned your teammates and just kind of working together with your teammates. In a couple of weeks, the first race of the chase is going to be at Daytona. What are your thoughts there? I know it can be a bit of a wild card for super speedway racing, especially in our chase format.
Yeah, based off Talladega, I'm really looking forward to it, because we had a really good strategy at Talladega that I really think was going to work out really well. We did a really good job of staying out of trouble, and we're really good at getting through the draft and making passes. So Daytona's a little tighter though, a little harder to pass. So it's going to be a little more difficult, but team strategy is going to be key. So if you don't, it helps that we have quite a bit of guys on our team, and 6 or 7. So it's good to have that when you're going to super speedway, because you can kind of keep your strategy, behind closed doors. Nobody else really knows what you're doing. So it's kind of an advantage there. But, like you said, super speedway is kind of a wild card. So just got to stay out of trouble. And I'm probably, most of the time I lay back and I try to avoid the wrecks, and then I get caught up in one anyway. So at Talladega, I went for it, and I think I did a little bit better there. We just had some lap cars that were a problem that week. So just got to stay out of trouble. That's the main thing.
Fair enough. Well, Nick, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah. Shout out to CG Automotive for being on the car, Perk Coffee, Beer Hill Gang, Kyle and Dan over at the Circle Jerk podcast for always supporting me, always race day. And little shout out to dizzymerch.com, www.dizzymerch.com. We got a couple goofy stickers and goofy t-shirts if anybody wants to support us. Also, shout out to you guys here at 3 Wide TV for putting on a great broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it. And TNR for putting on this league.
Well, Nick, congratulations there on the 3rd place finish. Looking forward to seeing you out there on the track in 2 weeks when the field takes on Daytona. And I'm definitely going to have to get myself some of that Dizzy merch, especially one of those Nick Sucks
I knew you were going to say
stickers.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
All right, well, that's Nick Cohan, our 3rd place finisher here for tonight's Dizzy Merch 150. And Peter, I believe you are now caught up with our 2nd place finisher, Jason Gracias.
Yeah, I am down here with driver of the number 1 machine, finishing in the 2nd spot here tonight. Jason, you found a little bit of that T-Rex speed here, especially late in the race. You solidly worked your way up from, at one point, being, I think, as low as 13th or so, worked your way up at the end of that first run, got yourself into the top 5. A great pit stop, put you out front of the field, but slightly older tires than Daniel Buttafuoco, but nonetheless put together a solid back half of the race. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, I just hope Michael Waltrip gets his car through tech later today. I'm kind of worried, but all in all, I mean, this track and Dover are probably my 2, and Nashville are probably my top 3 favorite tracks in the service. So when you come to tracks you enjoy, you just perform a lot better. And my mentality at this track is the old Kevin Harvick approach. You park it on the blue/white line and let it rotate through, and you'll be there at the end. Just that second run coming out the pits, I wasn't parking it on the blue and white line, and Daniel was, and he just got me. I got out dueled, so it's a lesson learned for next time for sure.
Well, nonetheless, even if you got outdueled, you got outdueled by a very, very fast Daniel Buttafuoco, who definitely had more track position than you did here tonight. So I wouldn't put yourself in a hole too badly, because it was a very strong run here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But, of course, next week is the last chance qualifier. You really shouldn't have to worry all too much about getting in. We expect to see you very, very fast, of course, going forward. But, what are your thoughts? Because points are updated. And, Jason, you're outside, you're looking in. We know you're going to be fast in that last chance qualifier to try and make it into the championship hunt. What are your thoughts about that? The race, I don't believe, has officially been announced. I do know what it is. I'll see if it hasn't been announced, whether or not I get permission by Mr. League owner and organizer to announce it. We will see whether or not he wants to do that or not. But, what are your thoughts about trying to make your way into the championship hunt in the last chance race?
Well, all in all, I mean, I don't deserve to be in the chase, and I'm not going to be in the chase. This season, I've had no luck. It's either I've been wrecked out, or got damaged early on and fought back to either top 10 or top 15. In the races where I had speed, I couldn't make it to pit road, or iRacing did to put fuel in the car. So, this was a good run for me. I'm happy to get my partner, Max Graphix, a good rush showing, get him a lot of TV time with this cool T-Rex car. But unfortunately, I'll be away next weekend visiting family. So I won't be here for the LCQ, but I'll show up for the chase, make sure I put on a good show and try to get this number 1 car back in victory lane at least.
Well, we definitely know you will round out the season strongly. Like I said, I don't think we're going to have to worry about your pace in the races you are in, but definitely kind of going to be fun to see you rounding out the season with the races that you make, Jason. Before we let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Yeah, thanks to Billy Thornton Graphix, for putting the series on as a presenting sponsor. He makes awesome graphics, awesome decals, awesome sign work. So if you're in the northeastern Pennsylvania area, you need some sign work done, check him out. Thanks to Garrett Gleason and the admin team here. I think we try our best. Not every race is perfect, but it's a fun place to race. We just started a Super Speedway series on Sundays. So if you're at home and want to join that, we run Sundays around 6:30. It's an awesome, fun time, good group of guys. And thanks to my sponsor on the car, Chris, Max Graphix. go check him out on Facebook, maxgraphics.co, for all your sim racing designs and paint scheme needs. He does great work. And thanks to 3 TV, I enjoy watching these broadcasts back. You guys do a great job. You, Peter and Bob, yeah, you guys do a great job.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun up here in the booth, and I know it's a lot of fun down there in the race car as well. Jason, congratulations on finishing runner-up here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, guys, have a good night.
All right, that's going to do it for our second place finisher. I believe that Bob Giaquinto has caught up with tonight's winner in his second career win, Daniel Buttafuoco.
Yeah, I'm down here in victory lane with the driver of the number 30 machine, Daniel Buttafuoco. And Daniel, first of all, congratulations on the win. Tell me about how, A, you were able to save enough tires there at the end, but B, for you to, wind up getting the win tonight.
Yeah, wow, what a race. That was, it's a big one for us. Yeah, I mean, towards the end of that race, I was trying to go towards the midway through the race, I was trying to go as long as I could on fuel because it was going to be a one-stop race. So I did the best that I could. The lap I pit, I was pretty much coasting in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I took it very easy in the pits to make sure I didn't speed or be in the wrong lane like I was last week. And then I wasn't sure if I was good to the end. I ran some laps and then I clutched it for a little bit. And then I was trying to make sure that I wasn't full throttle on straightaways. And then I asked somebody who else, my friend JD, who's in the race, and asked him if I was good on fuel, and he said, "Oh yeah, you're fine on fuel." And then I pretty much went full throttle on the straightaways, and then started to get back into a rhythm, make sure that I hugged the blue line, and make sure that I was trying to keep the wheel as straight as possible, make sure I wasn't overdriving the entrance to the corners, and just be as smooth as I could. And after a while, we started to slowly pull away and come home with a win. And it feels good to win at a track other than Talladega, that's for sure. Finally been wanting one of these for a little bit. It's good to get our second win.
Yeah, definitely. And that really does set you up there for the chase. Obviously, that's starting not next week, but the following week at Daytona. Solidly there in the chase right now with a 4th place spot there in the points. You've got 2 wins here on the season, 7 top 5s as well in your 8 races that you've done here this season. So, just talk to me about that consistency. How are you able to stay up and run this competitive in all of the races that you've done so far this season with TNR?
Well, I have had a lot of great people help me over my time in iRacing. I'm still very new to it, and fortunately have a lot of great people, a lot of great friends who have given me a lot of great tips throughout my short time here in iRacing, and I've really tried to apply those into every race, whether it comes to saving tires, saving fuel, or just how to, racecraft, or just how to approach the race in general. Pretty much all my friends and all the people who have supported me throughout this whole venture have really, helped me get to this point. I never would have imagined that I would have had the season I've had so far, especially missing the first 3 races, and having that my first race at Iowa, go the way it did, where it ended on lap 2, and be seated 4th in the points is it's crazy. I never would have imagined it. But it's all thanks to everybody, all my friends, and those who have supported me along the way. It's really cool.
Well, Daniel, looking ahead now for the chase starting in a couple weeks, we're going to Daytona to kick things off. Obviously, you got the win there at Talladega. What are your thoughts getting ready for the chase, A, but B, for it to kick off at what can be kind of a crapshoot there at Daytona?
Yeah, the chase, I don't know how it works. I don't know if the points reset or, from the bonus points that we already had, or if it's continuing on from the points that we currently have at the moment. But I'm just going to approach it, every race how I usually do. That's pretty much just run my race and try to do the best that I can and try to win them. That's been the goal. We've had a lot of races not go our way. Some have been taken from us, whether it's from my own doing or just, luck or just being in the wrong place, wrong time. But just approach it the same way. It's you got to take baby steps. It's 5 races, and just got to take it a race at a time. And for Daytona, well, if we can replicate what we did at Talladega, that would be great. Try to, be cautious at the start and then slowly make our way forward. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be definitely. I think it's probably going to be one of the most important races, because if you could have a good result there, you have a little bit of a buffer. If some guys don't have a good race, you'll have that a gap in terms of points to work with and be flexible. So you could be a bit smarter in those next 4 races, so that you're not in a desperate situation. But yeah, my plan is to try to win Daytona. I would love to win all these races, but that's not going to happen in this series. So, I mean, do the best I can. Just be smart. Run a good race. Try to qualify up front and just stay up front, away from all the madness, and try to get another win. Make it 2 in a row, hopefully.
Fair enough. Well, we will see you out there in a couple of weeks at Daytona. But Daniel, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah, I want to say a big thanks to all the fans who came out to watch the stream here tonight. I really do appreciate all the support you guys give for this series. I want to say a big shout out to you, Bob and Peter, for the great broadcast you put on every week. Enjoy watching them back. You guys do a fantastic job. Big shout out to JD. He's been helping me out a lot here on iRacing. And shout out Josh. He had a good run up until that little misfortune. All my friends for the great support, whether it's racing in NASCAR Heat or on iRacing. Really means a lot. And just trying to keep up this good momentum. And also want to say a big shout out to Garrett and all the staff over at TNR for putting on a great series and great races every week. We had another fantastic race, pretty much 95 laps straight green flag, I think. That's incredible. So yeah, everyone who's working behind the scenes and everyone who's helped me along the way, it really does mean a lot. And yeah, it was good to get another win. It's great.
Well, Daniel, congratulations again, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there on the track in a couple of weeks at Daytona.
All right, take care, guys. See ya.
All right, well, that is going to do it with tonight's race winner, Daniel Buttafuoco, here, and definitely looking forward to the chase here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. That is for sure, Bob. Definitely going to be a lot of fun to see that all shake out here over the next couple of weeks. And Bob, interestingly enough, we are getting word that here tonight that Garrett Gleason has updated the points. So, Bob, have you been able to look at the points or not yet to kind of give us a rundown on the point situation as it stands after tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway? Because there were some shakeups near the top of the point standings that I think a lot of the viewers at home might be interested in, just to see how things went on here tonight on the racetrack.
Absolutely, Peter. Well, our regular season champion is the 28 machine of Tim Johnston with 331 total points. 10 points behind him in second is Nick Cohan. Anthony DeBarro stays strong in third, 46 points behind the leaders. But this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. Daniel Buttafuoco, after getting that win, jumped 2 positions up to fourth. John Borst stays strong there in fifth. Ben Izinga, after missing tonight's race with a provisional, he'll drop 2 spots down to sixth. And in the 7th and final chase position, Tristan Maher gets in over Bill Edwards by 2 points. So 2 points was the cutoff there between the technically seventh, tied for 6th spot there with Izinga is Maher. Bill Edwards misses out of the chase for now by just 2 points, and he will have to try to make his way in next week at the last chance qualifier race, which is definitely going to be an interesting race for sure next week.
Yeah, that is for sure. A lot on the line for all the drivers at a yet to be determined. Well, it has been determined. I know where it's going to be. We'll see. Garrett, if you're in the chat and you're still watching, let us know if I can announce where the racetrack is going to be, where the last chance event's going to be next week. We got Jelly Dough in the chat as well saying, Dan fan. Obviously, a Daniel Buttafuoco fan. Let's take a look at the final finishing results here tonight. Of course, Daniel Buttafuoco taking home his second win of the season. Jason Gracias there finishing in second. Nick Cohan finishing in third, rounding out your podium. Then J.D. Laird continuing his great run last week with a fourth here tonight. Josh Gerlach in fifth. Then Tristan Maher just doing enough to get himself into the chase for the Thornton Graphix title. Jason Freeman in seventh. Tim Johnston in eighth. Anthony DeBarro ninth. And rounding out your top 10 there, Bob, John Borst.
And 11th is the 50 machine of Bill Edwards. Shane Ewing in 12th. 13th is Jimmy Mckee, Lupe Gonzalez in 14th. They're our first of the cars who were one lap down. Stephen Kegman there in 15th. 16th is Mike Floppy Tellier. 17th, Stephen Dosiak Jr. In 18th, Andrew Himmelman after getting caught speeding on pit road. 19th, Vinny Valvano, and running out the top 20 is the 99 of Philip Scott.
21st here tonight, Briar Fritz. 22nd, Garrett Gleason. Both of those drivers one lap down. Then Nick Chambrone finishing 2 laps down in 23rd. Casey Miller 2 laps down in 24th. Jason Shue 6 laps down 25th. And Josh Cossack, Kevin Stone rounding out your field. Justin White is, of course, your out of race administrator here in the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. But man, definitely going to be really interesting, Bob, kind of going forward with the way things are going to go. We, of course, have one more race left to see if we can get these drivers into the chase. Going to be definitely interesting to see whether or not these drivers are able to get themselves up into that race. The only way left, if you're one of those drivers not already into the chase, Bob, you have to go out there and win next week.
You do, and next week's race is going to be it's going to be very tough to get around this track, and I have confirmation from Garrett Gleason himself, and next week's last chance qualifier race will be taking place at Rockingham, North Carolina. So that is going to be a very tough track for these drivers to get around and try to make their way into the chase and be that number 8 seed getting into the playoffs. So, man, Rockingham next week, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be one heck of a race. I love Rockingham. A lot of these drivers do as well. It's not an easy racetrack. I didn't want an easy racetrack. I was the one who was able to actually pick it. And I didn't want them to have an easy racetrack. If they want to get into the TNR chase, they're going to have to earn it next week at The Rock. But Bob, any final thoughts on tonight's race? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, just a fantastic race, and like I believe it was Daniel who had said, 95 laps of green flag racing was just absolutely outstanding. And a quick shout out to the 97 machine of Mike Floppy Tellier. He's our winner of the Polyhedral Cathedral Dash for Cash this race. He wound up beating out the 38 of Vinny Valvano and the 16 of Briar Fritz. So good on Floppy for getting the win here for the Polyhedral Cathedral Dash for Cash.
So congratulations, Floppy, picking up some extra money. We'll see you guys here on 3Y TV here soon. We're not sure yet if we're going to be broadcasting the final opportunity, the last chance qualifiers to make it into the TNR chase. We will see about that over the next week or so, Bob. But if not, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the chase through the Thornton Graphix Cup resumes here on 3 Wide TV. Big shout out to, of course, Thornton Graphix for sponsoring the series. Dunn Raceway Park for all they do here for the Total Nonstop Racing, an indoor off-road RC racing track up in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, tonight's race sponsor, DizzyMerch.com. But everyone, wherever you are on this planet, whatever time it might be, make sure you stay safe until we meet again here on the channel. Have a good night, and we shall see ya!